A controversial bill about discussing gender identity in elementary school.
Here I stand. I'm not backing down.
Now signed into Florida law. After falling out of first place,
Duncan, corner three.
The Miami Heat look to stop a losing streak. And the sky's the limit.
Fly high or just do tricks.
As kites soar over our nation's capital. These stories and more are coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
And I'm Anya Joseph. Today's Tuesday, March 29, 2022.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Pen to paper for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signing the parental rights in education law, referred to by its critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. The signing comes after months and months of backlash over the measure.
The network's Christopher Gomez has a closer look at what's now prohibited and reaction from both supporters and opponents.
Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay measure, as critics have dubbed it, is now law. On Monday, Governor Ron DeSantis appeared defiant at the bill signing after months of controversy.
I don't care what big corporations say. Here I stand. I'm not backing down.
DeSantis referencing Disney's condemnation of the bill, which has also sparked student walkouts in many Florida schools. Although the measure doesn't specifically ban the use of the word gay, the bill does prohibit instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Supporters argue the measure gives parents greater oversight over what students learn and discuss at school, and that LGBTQ-related topics should be left for families to discuss at home.
Parents have a fundamental role in the education, healthcare, and well-being of their children.
But opponents say the measure negatively impacts an already marginalized community. So far, at least one LGBTQ rights group, Equality Florida, has threatened legal action against the legislation.
You're clearly singling out, clearly discriminating against in this situation, and we feel it.
Meanwhile, the Trevor Project, a nonprofit that works on suicide prevention among LGBTQ youth, released a statement saying, quote, LGBTQ youth in Florida deserve better. They deserve to see their history, their families, and themselves reflected in the classroom.
That was the network's Christopher Gomez. The bill's signature is the latest in Florida targeting members of the LGBTQ+ community. Governor DeSantis previously approved legislation targeting LGBTQ+ Floridians, including an anti-trans sports ban last year.
A rise in spring break criminal activity has officials in the Florida Panhandle worried after police confiscated 75 guns. They presented them in a news conference in Panama City Beach. Authorities say they have made more than 100 bookings within just a few short days, and nearly half the people taken into custody came from Alabama.
A sad ending this morning to the case of a missing child near Gainesville. After nearly a 24-hour search for missing 1-year-old Jose Lara ended tragically when his body was found in a septic tank. The Putnam County Sheriff said they decided to check the tank yesterday as precaution. Volunteers say the manner of his death is shocking.
Protesters demand amusement park ride be permanently removed after the death of 14-year-old Tyree Sampson. The teen's loved ones and several others stand in solidarity outside of Icon Park in Orlando for a call of action. A petition has also been started to ensure this tragic incident does not happen to anyone else. The ride is currently shut down indefinitely while investigators determine what happened.
The NFL announced the creation of a diversity advisory team at the annual league meetings here in South Florida. They met yesterday in Palm Beach, and the team is set up to help review the NFL's hiring policies and practices. The committee comes after the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores, filed a lawsuit against the NFL and 3 of its teams last month for racial discrimination.
And just like that, the Heat snapped their tough 4-game losing streak with a nice blowout as they hosted the Sacramento Kings. Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson both closed it out for Miami with 4 minutes left on the clock. Bam Adebayo makes a block and takes the ball down the court, setting himself up for an easy layup. Robinson with a nice pump fake, fakes two defenders and sidesteps for a corner three that makes the crowd go wild. Final score, 123-100.
Miami-Dade firefighters saving a symbol of American freedom.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
There are so many different shapes, sizes, colors, ages, everything. So that's beautiful.
Just when you think the cherry blossoms on the Washington Mall couldn't get any prettier, hundreds of kites are added to the mix. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Yeah.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
Playing it forward, one kite at DC Kite Festival going from child to child so everyone who wants to can participate. Colorful kites filled the National Mall sky as part of the National Cherry Blossom Festival celebration.
The network's Daniela Jaramillo from our DC Bureau was in Washington this morning.
A little cold and breezy weather didn't stop crowds to gather in DC to fly their kites at the Blossom Kite Festival, after being canceled 2 years in a row as a COVID-19 safety measure.
In the spirit of just giving here in DC, we were watching my oldest daughter play with her kite because she made it at school. So we went around to see if we could purchase one. There weren't any to purchase. Well, a very kind family came up to us and said, hey, if you want a kite, someone gave us this kite to play with, and you can play with it too as long as you pay it forward.
Well, it's really exciting, and there's so much people and every different colors and skins, and there's so many inventive kites that are designed to fly high or just do tricks.
One of the things that I think is really beautiful, in addition to the kites and the weather and the blossoms, is the diversity of people. There are so many different shapes, sizes, colors, ages, everything. So that's beautiful.
People enjoyed viewing the kites while sitting by the cherry blossoms, and of course, this was a great opportunity for food trucks and vendors to sell to the hundreds of people that welcome spring in the capital. The Blossom Kite Festival is one of DC's long-standing traditions. The National Cherry Blossom Festival is offering virtual workshops to learn how to make and fly kites. Daniela Jaramillo, South Florida Media Network.
Wildlife Rescue and Miami-Dade firefighters help assist bald eagle tangled in a fishing line. It was one of the bald eagles born last year on Zoo Miami's famed Eagle Cam. After rescuing the eagle named R2, the excess line was removed in hopes that she would stay at the nest to continue her fledgling phase. She ended up fleeing to a backyard of a nearby home, but the rescue team worked together again to place her back in the nest.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak today. I'm Anya Joseph.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.